keep on the lookout. Fisher's around here somewhere. Night-night, boys. Hi guys, video game viewer here with a review of Splinter Cell Convictions. Now, the storyline of this game is, if you've played the other Splinter Cell games, you know that Sam's daughter was killed in a hit-and-run car accident, and Sam is on the trail of the killer. He is definitely one pissed-off son of a bitch, and he wants to find whoever did that and take them out. And that's what Splinter Cell Convictions is all about, him trying to track down this killer. And on his path to finding this killer, it opens up a huge web of conspiracy. And as you know, Sam no longer works for Third Echelon, so he is going to have to use whatever he can find at his disposal. He no longer has the cool gadgets that he once did. So that's the basic gist of this game. Now, if you're coming to Splinter Cell Convictions just strictly for the storyline, I would recommend definitely renting this game. It's only about 5 hours long, and if that's all you're coming to this game for, you're going to be hugely disappointed. I would rent it if you're just coming for the storyline. But luckily, Splinter Cell Convictions has a whole cornucopia of extra stuff. Now what? And I will be getting to that in just a minute. The gameplay of Splinter Cell is phenomenal. It definitely is different than the other past Splinter Cell titles, and there are new additions. At its core, it still feels like a Splinter Cell game, and the game mechanics are all basically the same, but there are a few additions that definitely separate it.
Here they come.
The first is when you're sneaking around and you are spotted by the enemy, if you can break line of sight, it'll leave a silhouette of Sam Fisher, and that represents the last known position of him to the enemy. So there, if you were behind a crate and you managed to slip away, it's going to put like almost like a ghost of Sam Fisher there. That's where the enemy thinks he is at that point. So they're going to be shooting it there. All their attention is going to be focused to that last known position, allowing you to either sneak away or flank the enemy and take them out.
I'm glad you can make it.
The other additions to the game are the tag and eliminate, or the mark and execute. What this does is this puts red arrows above the enemy's heads, granted that you got a hand-to-hand takedown. You need to get a hand-to-hand takedown first, and then you can use your mark and execute. And once you use your mark and execute, you'll have to get another hand-to-hand takedown in order to get another mark and execute. Now you can mark up to as little as 2 guys, up to 4, depending on what gun you have. Certain pistols only allow you to mark and execute 2 guys, while some of the bigger, more long-range guns allow you to mark and execute up to 4. 4 is the max, though. And let me tell you, the mark and execute is definitely the pillar on which this game stands. It is awesome to drop in through a window or bust in through a door and already have those guys marked, hit Y and watch Sam whirl around in a whiz of bullets, clearing a whole room in under 5 seconds. It is just spectacular. Also, they've done away with a HUD in this game, and you no longer have a health bar, and you no longer have the little meter to tell you how hidden you are. In lieu of that, the world is filled with color, and when you are completely hidden, the screen will shift to strictly black and white. That means you are completely hidden. The only time that the color will return in that situation is if searchlights are put on and they illuminate your position, or if an enemy passes by and sweeps over you with a flashlight. Other than that, the screen will remain black and white, allowing you to know that you are completely in darkness and completely hidden. Also, there's no health bar. They kind of went Modern Warfare with the health bar this time. If you're injured, the screen will start to go red around the edges, and that means you need to hightail it to cover until that red disappears, meaning you're back to full health. So the health is regenerative. But you are going to die if you are spotted. Enemies kill you with extreme efficiency in this game, and they will actually actively pursue you and hunt you down. So the best thing in this game is just not to get shot at and not to get spotted, and just take your time. The sound in this game, the music is good, the guns and voice acting all sound phenomenal, but the real spotlight shines on Michael Ironside, who is reprising his role yet again as Sam Fisher. He takes the cake when it comes to voice acting of a video game character. He's one of the more memorable voices I can remember in video games, and he is definitely taking center stage in Splinter Cell in the way of voice acting. He totally eclipses everybody else, and he really brings Sam Fisher to life, making Sam sound very angry and just really aggressive, like he wants to get his revenge. And that really comes through with Michael Ironside's voice acting, so I gotta give him a thumbs up there. He did a really good job, as always. The graphics in this game are good. They're not by any means terrible. They definitely are a step up from the graphics of Double Agent. Even though that game was a next-gen console Splinter Cell game, I did not think the graphics in Double Agent were good at all, and this game definitely steps it up a notch. There are some weird little graphics hiccups, such as when you're using the mark and execute. Sometimes if a bad guy happens to walk behind a pillar or a wall, you can still shoot, the bullet will go through the pillar and still kill the guy. So there are some graphics bugs, but overall the graphics in this game are excellent. The lighting looks good, the enemies look good, the facial features all look excellent. There are no complaints from the graphics department. Now, after you've beat Splinter Cell in, like I said, 5 hours, it is very short. Luckily, there is a lot to do afterwards. There is a full co-op mode, which actually takes you through different missions, which is a prequel to what Sam Fisher is doing now. Now, in the co-op, you don't actually get to play as Sam Fisher. You're playing as 2 other agents, and you will go through, I think, 5 different missions playing as them. And like I said, it is a prequel to Splinter Cell Convictions, and teamwork is key. Good communication. If you're playing online and you just jump into a match with a random person and they don't have a headset or something, you are boned, because the guards, I think, are even more efficient and more numerous when you're playing co-op. And I think aside from that, there's a bunch of different modes you can play. There's infiltration. I think one of them is called hardcore or something like that. Infiltration is like, once you get spotted, it's game over. You have to start the mission over again. There's no checkpoints, I don't think. But it is very addicting. I found myself more than once playing the co-op saying, one more, then I'm done. And I couldn't. I just had to keep playing. So after you beat the story mission, there is a lot to come back to. And also, Splinter Cell, the main story, I think has a lot of replay value. So this is definitely a game that you're going to want to get and buy if you're planning on doing the co-op as well. If you're just going to play for the storyline, I would definitely rent this. It is not going to take you long to beat, even on the hardest game setting. So, with all that said, I'm giving Splinter Cell Convictions a 9 out of 10. This has been the Video Game Viewer. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my upcoming reviews. I'm going to be doing Alan Wake and Red Dead Redemption, so if you like what you've seen here and you want to see those, how about you subscribe? Thanks.